Monday, November 20th, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Hamilton?
Here.
Mr. Knight? Here. Mr. Kavesky?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
We need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Second. All right, call the roll, please. Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight? Aye. Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Kavesky?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting October 16th, 2023, the regular meeting October 16th, 2023, and the special meeting November 10th, 2023. I move to waive the reading of the minutes and accept them as written.
I make a motion.
Second.
Do we have a second? All right. Any questions? If not, call the roll, please. Mr. Kavesky? Aye. Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight? Aye. Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, do we have any hearing of the public?
Not that I am aware of, or not that's been turned into me.
All right, we move on to number 7, the approval of invoices.
Make a motion to approve the invoices.
Do we have a second? Second. Okay, any discussion? If not, call the roll, please. Mr. Knight? Aye. Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Kavesky? Aye. Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
All right, turn it over to Mr. Yeager.
Yep, absolutely. So we have our school report tonight, and guys, if you don't mind on the agenda, I'd actually like to move up our student of the month to this time as well, so we can honor our students of the month with our people, everybody here in attendance. So if you guys are okay with that, I would like to move student of the month just up to honor them right now as well with our school report. So I'd like to start first, and Aaron, you don't even have to walk far, but Aaron, if you want to come stand up here. Pull this out. So our first Wildcat of the month, and Aaron, I'm going to give this to you. Right here is Aaron Foster, who is also one of our board reps. And Aaron, I'm going to hand you this as well. So Aaron Foster, she has been involved as a class officer where she's been vice president for 3 years. She's been a student leadership 3-year member, president of that for 1 year. She's been a National Honor Society student for 2 years and the president of National Honor Society. She's a member of our student voice group for 3 years, a member of speech and debate for 2 years. In sports, she's been a member of our varsity girls golf team, who, by the way, is not able to be here tonight. They're going to come to our December meeting, but as you know, back-to-back years of record-breaking for our varsity girls golf team as well. In the fine arts, she's been a jazz band member for 2 years. Community involvement, she's a church media team leader. She is also National Honor Society, Girls on the Run, Community Day. She's a part of our student voice. She has been a part of planning our school's Black History Month, which included reading to elementary school students and sending informational videos on Black historical figures to middle school students, as well as various events here at the high school. She's a senior citizen prom. She's volunteered there, also at the Turkey Trot, and has done Christmas shopping for the less fortunate. Her parents are Eric Foster and LaMonica Foster. After graduation, she plans to attend the University of Cincinnati and enroll in their Master's Accelerated program for Organizational Psychology with a concentration in talent development. So if she could sit on the bench with anyone for an hour, who would it be? And she said Frederick Douglass. His lifelong pursuit of wisdom and eloquence has been an inspiration during her academic journey for years. To be able to talk to him rather than read his works would be a life-changing experience. As for the most important part of school, Erin says the most important part of school is being involved, whether it's through athletics, academics, or the arts. School is the perfect opportunity to find your passion and hone your talents that will help you direct your future. And what is the coolest thing that ever happened at school? And she said being chosen as Canton South sponsored student by the Rotary Club to attend RILA, a 3-day leadership conference that's hosted for students from numerous counties in Northeast Ohio. Please join me in congratulating Aaron Foster as our November Student of the Month. And I'm going to say this because I just saw Mr. Foster walking in the back there. Just congratulations, absolutely wonderful young lady. Absolutely. All right, our next Wildcat of the month is Rowan Laughlin. There you go, Rowan, if you could come on up. Thanks so much. And Rowan is here also for our girls tennis team as well. So very, very cool that we get to celebrate her in both of those endeavors. Sorry, Rowan, you have a slightly farther walk. As well, okay? All right, so Rowan Laughlin. Rowan has been involved in student leadership for 2 years, a Business Professional of America for 1 year, National Honor Society for 1 year, National Technical Honor Society for a year. In sports, she's been a member of our back-to-back league championship tennis team. We're going to celebrate here in just a little bit as well for 4 years. In fine arts, she has taken art classes in Foundations of Art as well as photography. For community involvement, she's volunteered at our youth tennis programs. She's volunteered at Community Day. She's volunteered at the Waco Homecoming. You're welcome, Mr. Cole. They're ready to go. She has been volunteered for the turkey trot as well. And I want to make sure, is it Megan? Okay, good. Just making sure I'm saying it correctly. I apologize. Her parents are Brian and Megan Laughlin. After graduation, Rowan plans to attend Ohio University to major in marketing and minor in advertising and public relations. For her questions, what hashtag would summarize your high school experience? She put hashtag always busy. What is the most important part of school? And she said the out of classroom experiences. And what is the coolest thing that has ever happened at school? And I would think this one would be pretty cool. Completing in the BPA, Business Professionals of America, and making it to the Nationals in California. And also I'd like to throw out there that she also was a district qualifier this year in tennis as well. I didn't say that, but I thought that's pretty cool to honor as well. So please join me in congratulating Rowan Laughlin, also November Student of the Month. Wildcat of the Month. At this time, I'd also now like to invite forward here some of our athletes that we have. As you guys know, we have had a really, really special fall. And we had some athletes accomplish some really cool things. We've had some teams, but we've also had some individuals. So Coach Hinkle, if you could please come forward with Reagan McDonald, and I'm going to have you just kind of talk about what Reagan accomplished and why she's here tonight. I don't know if you guys want to come up here. All right, Coach, I'm going to turn the mic over to you.
Good evening. This is Reagan McDonald. Reagan's a freshman. She made a significant impact on our soccer program this year. We finished with a 500 record, 7-7-4. Last year we had only won one regular season game. Reagan set the record for most goals scored in a season, which was 31. She set most hat tricks in a season with 4, which is 3 goals, per game. She also was the only freshman selected as first team all-district in our district, and she's going to hold all the records by the way she's going right now, by the end of her sophomore year, you're a junior, should be the most decorated soccer player in Canton South history. Thanks, Reagan.
All right. Coach Sterry, if you want to come forward, and please bring Logan Howard with you.
Do I need a mic? Can you hear me? You probably should. I probably should. I'd like to introduce Logan Howard here. 2 straight years, a national meet placer to be All-American, school record holder in the 3,200 meter run and the 4K run across country, 3rd in the state, 2 consecutive years. The accolades and the awards and all the medals that he's won over the past 2 years, they look good and it's awesome. But the best thing about this guy is he's a fantastic teammate. At the end of a race, he's just finished a race, he will stop and sprint to the race to watch his teammates finish. So as far as being an elite athlete, he's also an elite teammate. Thank you, Logan.
Congratulations, Logan. Okay, up next, I have Coach Dorchek. If you could come forward, please, and bring, I know, some of the members of your team. If you want to bring them up with you, that'd be great. Rowan, should have just had you sit up front. Now you're going to walk back up again. Sorry. Get you up here ready to go. But guys, Coach Dorchek, again, as you know, our tennis program, girls tennis, has been one of our most decorated programs for years here at Canton Local. How many years has it been since we've had a winning record? 33 years in a row that we've had a winning record. So just unbelievable. And I'd like just to kind of turn it over to you, Coach, to kind of talk about your team and what they've accomplished.
Thank you. Thank you for the chance to recognize 11 fantastic people today. As Mr. Yeagley just said, this was our 33rd consecutive winning season with a 15-3 overall record. We compete in the NET conference, which is a tennis-only conference consisting of 10 schools around the area. And our girls were 9-0 again this year, as they were last year, so congratulations to them. We also had a district qualifier here, and one here next year. And that marks the 11th straight year that that's occurred, which is, in short, a pretty rare occurrence. So, like Mr. Stair said, he would rather brag about the character of Logan. And this is a very accomplished group tennis-wise, but above all else, they are 11 fantastic people. And it's pretty fun to watch fantastic people keep a great tradition rolling. So congratulations, girls, and thank you to all of you for inviting us up.
We've got your certificates here. I'll let you kind of get them on there, because we've got a bunch of them here, so but congratulations to you. Rowan, I already shook your hand, but I'll do it again. Great thing. Congratulations. All right. Coach White, if you want to bring up our school record-setting boys soccer team. And guys, with so many of you, I don't know, if you guys want to just line kind of down in the front here, I just don't want someone to fall off. We need Landon to kick the ball in a few days, so get you guys lined up here ready to go. And Coach White, I will come down here and give the mic to you.
Thanks for having us. In the last 22 years I've been a coach here, this has definitely been the most exciting year I've been a coach here at Canton South. Last year we had 5 wins with this group, finished 6th in the league. Was in a lot of games, just was not able to get over that hurdle. Fast forward to this year, 1 year removed, we set a school record for wins in a season. And I believe the 4 games that we lost are also the least amount of games that this program has ever lost in a season. Also set the school record for goals in a season with 67, which is a pretty remarkable feat to knock that many goals in. These boys got the chance also, second year in the pack, to participate in the Pac-7 championship game this year. Didn't win it, but gave it their all, and we were right there with them. Also, I believe it was the last board meeting was our tournament game. So I think there were some of you, I was kind of peeking around as the board meeting was ending, to get to see these boys participate in a tournament game against a very, very good Firelands team, who was also a league champion in their league. And it came down to the wire in PKs, and these boys were able to get the job done. So a lot of good things with this group this year, and looking for good things next year as well.
I'm going to give these to you. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, and I just want to tell you, Coach White's right. We walked outside. That's one of the most exciting athletic events that I've been to as an administrator, as a fan. You guys were unbelievable. Nathan, I'm going to single you out, buddy, because you were singled out there, standing there in the middle. The pressure and way to come through, way to represent Canton South. And for all of you, guys, the best part of what we get to do is this. When we get to celebrate kids. And we are blessed with great kids here at Canton Local Schools. And I think we just want to make sure we're highlighting how many great things are happening here. And it's because of you guys, your support, families, and the kids and coaching staff that we have here. So thank you to all of you. I would like to say, Well, we have a lot of exciting things. Jason's going to go over the 5-year forecast. There's some appropriations that are going to be made. I'm going to talk some more. You are welcome to stay. However, if you would like to leave at this time as well, no one's feelings are going to be hurt. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for being here. So proud of all of these kids and all of you. Thanks for everything you do, and go Wildcats. Okay. And then as far as school reports go, Mrs. Gearhart is going to take over and do the school report here for really our Career Tech Center, which, as you guys know, we have a lot of exciting things happening right now.
Good evening. I don't want to take too much time. I don't want to steal Jason's thunder in the 5-year forecast, for heaven's sakes. So I did hand out a packet. It's a quick packet. I wanted to share just a couple additional details about the facilities expansion grant that we were just awarded, which is just incredibly exciting. Wanted to give you a little bit more information, and then there are also 2 pictures that I attached there that I wasn't sure if you had seen those or not. Our award amount was just over $4 million, so $4.3 million. When you break that down a little bit, that will include a freestanding 8,500 square foot structure which will house the program, the HVAC program, hopefully serving about 50 additional students per year between juniors and seniors. That part of the project cost almost $4 million, so $3.9 million. The other $300-some thousand is our supplies and equipment. We have a lot of different people we're going to partner with for our supplies and equipment, but included in our grant proposal was a package through Buckeye Educational Systems, Airgas, R.E. Michael, and Refrigeration Supply Company. So those are 4 of the quotes that we will certainly honor as part of our proposal that were approved already. I'm sure that we will have other suppliers as well. The other thing I wanted to share was a little bit of the data that was used. That was a big part of the rubric, was having data to support the need for this expansion. So we currently only have, of our 18 programs, only 3 of them are trade and industry programs, which are hugely popular and also have a huge need and growing need. We have 145 students that are currently enrolled in those programs. So adding 50 more students in 1 more program is an increase of 35%. We also, this year, when we started this school year, we had 23 who were left sitting on a wait list for auto, 35 for construction, and 48 for our welding program. I noted here on the bullets that some of those names are the same name on all 3 lists, but that just is a testament to students saying, I just want to trade an industry program. I want any one of them. And we have students who didn't get into any of them. So that is part of the data that I used to support the need for another trade and industry program. We also sent this year 8 students to Buckeye Career Center, again, just because of having so many students who wanted a trade and industry opportunity that we were not able to fulfill for them. The other piece that I wanted to share is just a little bit of the job data. So Ohio Means Jobs shows about $4,500 HVAC technician jobs within a 200-mile radius, and Indeed showed almost 100 job postings just for Canton at the time that we were looking at job opportunities. And the last thing I wanted to highlight, as part of our proposal, we were required to submit stakeholder support. So we submitted 4 letters. We had more than that, but I selected 4 because we didn't want to overwhelm the proposal packet. So I want to show Stark County Economic Development Board wrote a letter of support for us. Special thanks to board member Chris Cole on Miller Heating and Cooling submitted a letter on our behalf. Jennings Heating, Cooling, and Electric, and also RT Hampton. And like I said, we have a lot of other companies, even some others in our district, that are housed in Canton Township here that are excited to support this program. So that's just a little bit of an update. Are there any questions about the HVAC grant proposal? Okay. The other thing I just wanted to give you quickly was a little bit of an enrollment update for our Career Tech programs. We have 351 students that are enrolled in our traditional 2-year programs, those that we recruit from the 4 districts. We have an additional 243 students that are sitting in our 21st century business classes, our career-based intervention program, and then the students that are taking our biomedical sciences program as a 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So instead of taking it as a 2-year program, they can start that as a freshman. So we have students that take it that way that I didn't count in the recruited number. We also have 167 students taking classes in our family consumer science program with Mrs. Elsas, and that makes a total of 761 seats being filled in some sort of career tech related course. We also at our middle school now have entrepreneurship, digital art, and pre-engineering. So all of those are feeders into some of our career tech programs. And lastly, we are sending out this year 15 juniors to Perry and only 1 junior to Drag, and that student is following a working parent, so has a parent who works at that district. And then we have 9 seniors to Perry and 2 to Drag. When you look at that number going out versus the number coming in, that's a huge testament to what we have going on here at Canton Local. Our kids don't necessarily want to leave, but we have a whole lot of students that want to come our direction. So just wanted to highlight some of that. And we are in the middle of recruiting right now. We have applications flooding. We just sent out the application last Friday, and we are already over the number of applications in welding, animal science, and construction. So those 3 are already over capacity, which is it's a good problem to have, but we knew we'd have that problem. The 2 pictures I showed you here that I attached, I wasn't sure if you had seen that layout or not, but that was the first page that was attached. It's just a blueprint. We're not sure if it will actually end up sitting that direction or if we're going to modify the placement slightly. What that picture doesn't show, and the reason I attached the 3rd picture there is we are going to have an outdoor area. So just lay a cement pad and have an outdoor work area attached on the outside of the lab as well, so that our students do get an understanding of working in the elements. That picture is one I had seen from Buckeye Career Center, which I thought was a great idea. I have not seen that at any other HVAC program I visited. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that even though that wasn't on the blueprint, we are going to build that outdoor area as well. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before Krista leaves and goes down there, guys, I can't begin to tell you the amount of work, energy, everything that Krista did to make sure that we get this grant. And while there were other people involved at time to time, it was always under the direction of Krista. And so when you figured that there were 59 applications put in for these very competitive grants, and only 35 of them were selected, it really goes to her leadership and what she's done, and what she's done overall in the career tech program. So I just want to make sure, highlight that to say she has done an amazing job. And please know, as you guys are aware, my plan is as we get a little bit later that we're going to be putting Krista up to be our high school principal next year. Part of that is understanding that she is going to have her hands still in the world of career tech, because that all falls under our high school here. And so just really appreciate what you've done and want to take a second to say that to the board.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to the treasurer's report.
Okay, we've got kind of a busy agenda here for me tonight. Item A, as always, is the approval of the monthly financial reports. So if you turn to Exhibit TA1, page 1 is the cash reconciliation showing total deposit accounts $1,990,852.44. Total investments $16,473,682.67 at U.S. Bank in Star, Ohio, and a total reconciled balance of $18,419,010.57 after outstanding checks. Pages 2 and 3 of that report are the cash position report, which the bottom line there ties to the reconciliation for auditing purposes. Page 4 is a listing of all of our U.S. Bank holdings, which range in maturity from November 15th on here, which was just last week, through October of 27, totaling the $11,502,706.94 for U.S. Bank investments. And then the final page is a comparison for financial activity through the end of October, comparing this year's receipts and expenditures to last year's, and then comparing actual to our estimates. And I won't take a lot of time going over that today unless you have questions on it. We're going to cover financial forecast in detail here in a second on item B. So item A, I recommend board approval on item A. Item B, we have a separate attachment for that. The 5-year forecast is in the budget binder under the 5-year forecast tab. So if you could turn to that. And I won't bore everyone by going over every line, but wanted to kind of cover the significant lines in the forecast. Line 1.01 is general property taxes. We do have a steady tax valuation base. And in the forecast, fiscal year 21, we collected 6.1, fiscal year 22, 6.3, and fiscal year 23, 6.3. In fiscal year '24, we're projecting just slightly less than 6.4 million, with 1% increases in the 5-year forecast for non-valuation years and 3% in the update year. That doesn't mean that our valuations won't increase by more than that, because we all see what's going on around us. But because the House Bill 920, all of our millage rates are going to be reduced, so that way we don't collect more on those existing properties. So that's why we use those numbers. Line 1.02 for public utility tax, we got updated values from the county auditor for that. So in the last 3 years, we collected 7 million, 7.2 million, and just under 7.5 million. This year, we're projecting 7.9 million, so about a $450,000 increase. And then next year, starting after in fiscal year '25, 8.1 million, and we held that flat because we don't have valuation data that shows what those public utility companies are going to do. So we hold that flat to be conservative. But we have seen that start to level off. For a while there, we were getting significant increases in public utility taxes, but it's kind of leveled off now. And then also wanted to note, when you look at fiscal year 26 through 28, it looks like it's decreasing on line 1.01 and 1.02. That's just because we have a tax levy that's 5 years. When that expires, we have to include those tax revenues at the bottom on line 11.3 for property tax renewals. That's just so that way it's not assumed that those levies are going to pass in the top. You have to factor them in at the bottom, so that way a reader of the forecast can look to see that those levies exist, and they have to be renewed to collect those funds. Line 1.035 is our state aid, 1.040 is our restricted state aid, so 035 is unrestricted, 040 is restricted. Those estimates for this year and next year are based on state law. The budget bill that was passed covers 24 and 25. Again, to be conservative, we have no idea what the legislature is going to do with the funding formula moving forward. So to be conservative, we've held those flat for fiscal years 26 through 28, but 24 and 25 are based on the current estimates that we have and what we're collecting on for this fiscal year. Last revenue line item I wanted to cover, the state share of local property taxes. That used to be called property tax allocation. The state actually took legislative action to change the name of that line item, so that way it's clear that the state's picking up a portion of our homeowners' taxes. So that used to be the homestead, that's the homestead and rollback, but it used to be called property tax allocation. So that number is decreasing by $200,000 a year for the phase out of tangible personal property tax. That phase out will be completed in fiscal year 27. So fiscal year 26 is the last year we'll get anything for that. That's $200,000. Beyond that, the just under $800,000 is all homestead and rollback. So on the revenue line, from May to now, significantly improved, because if you remember back in May, we weren't sure where we were going to land in the funding formula. The funding formula was passed. It was favorable for us. In addition, we got some additional public utility taxes. So we ended last year with just under 28 million in revenues, projecting 29.2 this year, 29.5 next year, and then the $200,000 in TPP loss from there through fiscal year 28. So pretty flat revenues beyond fiscal 25 projected. On the expense side, our largest two line items I'll cover, personal services and retirement benefits. About 75 to 80% of almost every school district's budget is salaries and benefits. We're a service industry. Our teachers, our bus drivers are the heart of the district. That's where we spend our money. So I'll cover those two lines. The salaries are based on negotiated agreements that we have in place. So we have negotiated agreements for classified staff through fiscal year 25 and certified through fiscal year 26. 3% base increase this year with a 1% lump sum, and then the next two fiscal years with certified are 1% base increase with a 3% lump sum. So those are factored in. The other thing that's factored in, we're paying a significant number of staff with our ESSER funding that's going to expire at the end of this year. Some of those support positions that we've added, we know that are vital to the success of our district. So some of those are going to be rolled into the general fund whenever that funding expires. So in fiscal year 25, you're going to see a pretty significant jump because those people are included in our salaries. So last year, our salary number was $14.9 million. And I'll add that Last year, we had 27 pays in fiscal year '23, so the jump from last year to this year, even though we had a 3% increase, base increase and a 1% lump sum, we only went up about 100,000 in salaries, because last year we had 27 pays, this year we have 26. So it's kind of hard to do comparison data from last year to this year, but that's why you see that small jump. And then next year it goes from 15 million to 16.2, and then 16.6, and by the end of the forecast, 17.1 million. On retirement and benefits, health insurance is the largest question mark in there, health and dental insurance. The current year we got one premium holiday, and we had about an 8% increase. The COG has put out information to say not to rely on premium holidays and to project a 10% increase, so that's what we've done to be conservative, so that's what we've done for fiscal year 25 through 28. The rest of our retirement benefits are based off of what our salary levels are. So, bottom line on expenditures, last year expenses were 26.5 million. This year I'm projecting about 27.5 million. But then we'll see that big jump starting in fiscal year 25 to 29.5 million, and by the end of the forecast, our expenses are projected to grow to 32.6 million. So we do have some room there to try to help curtail those costs, so that way we don't have such a spending deficit. And actually from May of 2023, at the end of fiscal year 27 in May, we were showing a $4.5 million spending deficit, so we would be spending more than what our revenues were. With this forecast, with the public utility increases that we've received, and also the state aid increases that we received, we've trimmed that fiscal year 27 number down to 2.8 million, and even in fiscal year 28, we're still only spending deficit of 3.7 million. Still have a lot of room to make up there, but we have 5 years to do that. We have conservative estimates on the revenue and the expense side. And even with those spending deficits that we've talked about, the bottom line at the end of the 5 years forecast, we're still projected to have a balance of about 7.6 million, even with the increases in ESSER fund and employees and all that. So that's all I wanted to cover on the 5-year forecast. I recommend the board approve the 5-year forecast as it's presented here. And then all the other tabs, I won't go over all those, but similar to the prior year, you have enrollment data, valuation data, and then all of the budget stuff that we've already approved at previous meetings in our binder here. So I recommend the 5-year forecast for approval. Item C is a depository agreement with the Bank of Magnolia. We've held a depository agreement with them for quite a number of years. It's a 1-year agreement, January 1st of 2024 through December 31st of 2024, for a total of up to $12 million. I recommend the depository agreement with the Bank of Magnolia for approval. Item D is a resolution for us to participate in the natural gas bid through the Stark County Council of Governments. We do have prices locked in through 2025, but they like to negotiate those ahead of time to help try to get a better market rate for our utilities. So I recommend that we do participate in that. We've done that for, I believe, the last 8 years. It's been beneficial for us, saved significant amount of money on our natural gas purchasing. We do electric as well, but it's not up right now, so this is just for natural gas. So I recommend that resolution for approval. And then the last item, at the special meeting that we held earlier this month, we approved the establishment of the 495 fund for the grant that Krista went over, the expansion grant. In order to actually start spending money from that, we have to set the appropriations for it. So I recommend an appropriation amendment of $4,293,521, so that way as those grant funds come in, we can spend them. And that's all I've got for this evening.
I so move on items A through E.
All right, any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Kavesky?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye. Okay, that moves us to the communications.
Right, well, there's not much going on in the world of athletics, I guess we can just, I'm joking. So, I'd like to start off and just make sure everyone's aware of what's happening just in the upcoming week. Did an all-call tonight. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, and I know several of you are out there right now, to members of our community that reached out and expressed your concerns to the Ohio High School Athletic Association about the neutral site selection. I think it's a win for our kids in our community that this game's being played at Wadsworth, and just really excited about that. And just want to express my appreciation for everybody in the community that I know did that. Please know, as an administration, we were working behind the scenes, communicating with. We're going to do that. And again, Matt Dennison was very heavily involved. I don't want people to think like we were making lots of phone calls, making lots of emails, but there were a lot of people working, and our community was working very hard as well. And I just want to make sure I acknowledge that. Going on this week, just so everybody knows what's happening. On Thursday, on Thanksgiving, our Booster Club, greatly appreciative, they are sponsoring, calling it like a regional championship. I think the name they put is the Champs Give Thanks. But we're going to have a regional championship presentation that day. We're going to open up from 9 to 10:30, and we're going to have an open practice out at the stadium. The community is invited. Our Booster Club is providing apple cider, donuts, coffee. We're going to be selling regional championship shirts. I guess I'm going to be out emceeing the practice. Matt's giving me a script telling me what they're doing to announce to everybody at the time. The trophies are going to be available. So we are going to have the regional championship trophy. We're going to have the Pac-7 championship trophy for people in the community that want to get a picture with that. And then after practice, approximately 9:45 to 10 o'clock, because it kind of all depends on how they're feeling with practice, we're going to do a medal presentation ceremony to our kids. And then at that point in time, very short time, if people want to come and get pictures with our players, they're welcome to do that. We're going to get them in, get them out, and go celebrate Thanksgiving. On Friday then, here in the PAC, we're going to have a skull session / community send-off like Ohio State. So we're going to have our band in here. We're going to open up the atrium out there at 3 o'clock. We will have sign making, face painting, anything for kids. I guess adults can make signs and get their faces painted too. We won't judge. But we're going to do that. And then at 3:30, we're going to come in here. The band's going to play. The cheerleaders are going to cheer. At 3:45, the team's going to come in. Coach Dennison and the captains are going to have a few remarks. We're going to cheer them off out to the bus, and we have just a little kickoff to send them out there as we go. So we just put that information out tonight on social media. I did about a 3-minute all call to bother everyone with, but to get that information out there. And then really we want to ask that, you know what, it's Friday night, we pack. I know it's the holiday weekend, but we worked really hard to get that placement changed. We want to make sure we pack that stadium with Wildcat fans and cheer our kids on for the state semifinal. So just want to make sure that's out there to everybody of what's happening this week, as this is something, obviously, as you know, it's never happened in the history of the school before. Other athletics, winter sports are getting ready to kick off, and our boys basketball team has been delayed, and wrestling's getting delayed a little bit as well, as we still have kids involved in that. Others, student representative of the board, it's time to turn it over to you guys.
For October, we had the mobile dentist. That was available opportunity for those who perhaps could not afford the dental care. I think it was held at our middle school, for high school, middle school, elementary students. We had a student vaccination clinic October 19th. It was voluntary. Students did need parent permission. In November, we had the quarter auction on November 4th, aid provided by the 6 mentors. Speech and debate also had a bake sale, and all of that money went to help fund scholarships. Annie was a great success. We had about 1,500 people watch the musical over the weekend. It was really fun to do, and it was very nice to have a lot of people. I think that was the most we've ever had at a show in recent years. Signs of Suicide Mental Health Survey for 9th graders took place in October, and then we had 31 students have perfect attendance for the month of October. They were here every day, no tardies to school or to classes. Also going on tomorrow, we have our selection for the 6 Mentor Price is Right Thanksgiving edition, and that is where a bunch of 6 mentors went out and got a couple food items to donate, and people that wanted to try to guess what how much the price was without going over, they would win it. And I know last year the person that we ended up giving it to was really thankful and kind of needed it to help spark the Thanksgiving, and I know we're pushing to get it in Christmas again.
Our students of the month, for 9th grade, it was Armani Hawkins. 10th grade, it was Vivian Dunn. 11th grade, it was Micaiah Pierce. In 12th grade, it was Javion Nichols. Regarding student events, we had many science students attend Walsh University for a day entitled Science and Technology Summit, Science in Your Future. We also had numerous concerts, band, choir, SOS with the Canton South Singers. We had a pep assembly, a fall sports recognition night, and a community bonfire, which also recognized our fall athletes. In terms of student leadership, National Honor Society recently passed out Thanksgiving dinners to the less fortunate. For future reference, class officers will be sending out a survey in terms of increasing student morale and different things they'd want to see for the 2024 year. And for student leadership, we are starting to prepare for our senior citizens prom, and we're working on different things to fundraise that. So that's all.
Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, Kyler, Aaron, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you. As far as facilities, Krista kind of talked about where we're going, but just so everyone knows, they were cutting down trees today, doing some surveying over at the site of the new tennis court, and we are expecting them. I guess you would call that breaking ground. They were overworking today, but they're really going to be getting after it again tomorrow. So thank you for having that special board meeting so we could get this started as soon as possible here with all of that. And then just as far as curriculum and programming, we're not doing anything tonight, just lots of other stuff with finance. Jason's already covered that. And then I do want to echo in just a huge congratulations to the students and staff that were in Annie. It was a lot of work. They put in a lot of hours, but it was outstanding. It was very, very good. Really, really appreciated that. And like they said, approximately 1,500 people were in this pack over the course of those 4 shows. And I appreciate everybody's flexibilities. I know we had to move one due to the football game, but those are good problems that I hope we continue to have. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. So just thanks to everybody.
Hey, Brett, can I ask you a question regarding facilities?
Yeah.
What's an update on the Walker property?
Yep, so the Walker property as it stands right now is, and Jason, correct me if I'm wrong on this, we are waiting to just get final approval. Who are we waiting on the final approval for?
It might be regional planning, I believe.
Yeah.
Because we split the property into 2, if we held on to the entire thing and auctioned it all, we wouldn't have to have special approval for the property. However, because we're splitting it up into a parcel below 20 acres, it has to get special approval to make sure that, I believe, the sanitary sewer can go on the property once it's split. So it'll probably push us back to spring for that option, but we should be all set to go in the spring.
Okay. Yeah, I've just had some neighbors reach out and ask me, and I told them I would get an update.
No, absolutely. And I would say, honestly, everybody's been great. Really, everybody's been great to work with. Chris Knoll's been working very hard. Township's been, I'm pointing out to Mark because I see he's out there, but we've been in communication with Mark, Chris, Nichols, Keith. We're right on track. I wouldn't say right on track. We were hoping to auction it in the fall, so I can't say we're right on track. But we are still on track for everything we want. And we do feel like now at this point in time, a spring auction is a better auction time than moving into the winter right now as well. So but it is not something that's been forgotten about at all in any way, and everything's still moving forward. Okay.
All right, brings us to superintendent's report.
Yep, so item A, employment, guys, just right down through, everything's pretty straightforward. Stacy Wise is a bus driver for us, coming in at step 10. She had experience at a different district, so that's why you see us bring her in at step 10. You do see some long-term subs there. Sarah Motes, Boston McKinney. We have some staff members that are out right now, had some medical procedures that needed to be done, and so we'd like to approve them long-term sub. Chanel Compton has been brought on as a monitor here at Canton South High School, and we'd also like to approve her as the freshman cheer coach for the second half of the year here. That was a spot that we needed to get filled, and so it'd be at a 50% stipend at this point in time, just so that's why that's on there as 0.5. Also, you see there Hunter Miller, 2/3 stipend for wrestling. The rest are just event workers, and again, to remind you guys, we only approve our non-employees. If they're already an employee of the school, they don't have to be approved for an extra duty like that, but for people that are non-employees, they're going to work our events. That's why those people are listed on there for approval. Emily Seitz as a long-term sub 3 days a week, just so you know what's going on with that. While we have a staff member out on a medical issue, one of our long-term subs is being pulled to place into that spot. So we're bringing somebody else in to help us cover those day-to-day sub routes when we can, and she was available 3 days a week. And then then Donna Dalton, we'd like to add to our substitute educational parapro the rest of the year, and I'd recommend that we hire all of them. Item B, gifts and donations. Just gratefully, I'd like to ask that we accept Sherry and Roger Rodacker donation of $25 for Veterans Day. Canton Chair Rental donated for Veterans Day $1,286. Canton local staff donation of $350 for Thanksgiving meals for the Wildcat family in need. We had an anonymous donation of $200 to Six Man Mentoring. The Canton South Dairy Queen donation of $10 gift cards to use as attendance incentives at Canton South Middle School. Bell Stores Marathon, Canton South donated $10 gift cards for attendance incentives. And the Laborers International Union of North America, $1,500 to construction trades. And Kramer's Inc., $150 to construction trades. And I'd like to just gratefully ask that we accept those as well. The board policies, guys, if you remember, we had our first reading in October. This is now our second reading. All of these are Neola updates to keep us compliant with the law, with the exception of policy 5223. It's the last one there, and that is the one that deals with religious release time. Remember what we were asking on that is we are not changing anything of our religious release policy, except for in it said that students could earn up to 2 credits for religious release time. We already have a flex credit policy that covers students earning credit outside of a traditional class period or class time, and we just thought it was kind of redundant to have that in there and maybe create some unnecessary confusion. So we're asking to strike that portion out. And it's my recommendation that we would approve all of those. Overnight student trip, Mason Boldazar submitted a request for 5th grade outdoor education at Camp Elkhorn, May 9th through the 10th. That's always a great experience, and we're excited to be able to offer that to our kids. I would ask that we would approve that. Item E is something we've done in the past, and to be honest with you, this was a be safe instead of sorry. We just thought we should put it back on here to approve again. But we've been given the opportunity to use non-bachelor degree substitutes. It's done at the district's discretion of whether we accept them or not. But just to give you a case in point, we have students that are education majors that maybe don't have a class on a Thursday or Friday and they want to come in and sub. They're in college right now. And there's certain situations like that we'd like to have that opportunity to do, and with subs being at a premium, we thought this was a wise thing to do. We've approved this in the past, and we'd just like to ask that we approve it again to keep moving forward for that. For Sunday events, we have girls and boys bowling. They go to the New Year's Eve tournament every year. This year it just happens to fall on a Sunday, and we'd like to ask that they have approval to do that. And girls wrestling, it is an Ohio High School Athletic Association sport now, but many of their tournaments are held on Sundays. And guys, I'm experiencing this as a parent right now for cheerleading. A lot of times what happens is this is the time you can get gym space. And so that's why a lot of these events are being held on Sundays. So we would like to give them permission to participate in their events, because if not, they're not going to be able to participate in it. So I'd like to ask that we approve those Sunday participations. And if we move over, that is actually all I'm asking you to approve.
So we'll move on items A through F.
Second.
All right, are there any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Kadeski?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Okay, that brings us to informational concerns. Legislative, I just have one thing. House Bill 117 is to eliminate the 3rd grade reading guarantee and to expand the grades for which intensive reading intervention is provided and expand the inclusion of phonics in learning standards. Now that bill is just being pushed into committee right now, the Education Committee. But why I brought it up is because the Senate has a similar bill in their Education Committee, so it sounds like it is going to become a reality. So we'll keep updated on it, but it's in there. And there are other things in committee that we'll watch and see if anything is going to come out that's going to create an issue for us. And also, the legislature has moved on setting dates for setting up the new Board of Education, which is going to be made up of appointees, and they're taking applications, and then they will have interviews, and then they will vote on that committee process of putting together for a director of education. So that's all in progress right now, and we'll see how that changes education in the state of Ohio.
Is that still being, I thought the court stopped that, they're just thumbing their nose completely at it?
They're doing as they do quite often, as they've done with the budget. They're going ahead, they're moving ahead, even though it is still in the courts.
I believe the court ruled that, to lift the temporary restraining order, so.
Oh, that's right, yes, they did, yeah. But it's still, the restraining order is lifted, but it's still in process.
The lawsuit still stands, it's
Yeah.
just the temporary restraining order to stop them from doing it.
Yeah.
It's been lifted.
So they're moving forward even though it's not truly approved yet. All right, are there any questions pertaining to the agenda items or board actions? If not, any other business?
I just want to bring up one thing. I mean, obviously, you know, we were down at Capitol Conference, and you know, obviously, very tragic what happened with Tusky Valley. But I do want to say that, you know, prior to that, I thought Capitol Conference was a very worthwhile experience. Great bonding, great learning sessions, and I thought as a board and administration that it was very worthwhile.
And also, we have been involved in some activities to support Tusky Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. Our biggest thing, guys, that we are trying to do, and like today, like a lot of administrative stuff and staff and students, we're black today to support Carrollton as they lost a staff member and just show our support. Tomorrow we have asked, you know, we sent out to staff, we put on social media to wear red in support of Tusky Valley. Our marching band on Friday night, because it was actually too soon to get anything in, actually wore ribbons on their uniforms. I know that if they've been ordered, I'm hopeful that they're coming in tomorrow. If not, we'll wear ribbons again. But bracelets, rubber band bracelets for Tusky Valley that were actually brought in for our marching band as well, that they'll be wearing this Friday night. The biggest thing we've tried to do is make sure that we share on social media like the appropriate places where people can donate if they want to help. You know, that anytime there's a tragedy, there's a lot of things that go out there. And so one of the things that we did was make sure we shared where Tusky Valley and where Carrollton told us that this is where the money should go.
Legit.
And so, yeah, legit, and so make sure that people that want to donate can do that. But absolutely, our thoughts, our prayers, I cannot even imagine. And, you know, we have staff members that live in that community. And, you know, one of the other things, too, just so you know, that was done here, and I cannot take credit. I'd love to tell you who thought of this, and I can't remember, but it was one of our administrators. And if I could tell you the name, I'd tell you because it was a great idea. But when we were sitting around talking about this, one of our administrators came up with the idea of polling every kid that had moved in, because we can poll reports. So any student in our school that has moved in from Tusky Valley, get that list, and we sent that out to our building principals. And particularly at the middle school, high school, not so much elementary, but our building principals checked with any students. So I believe we had 7 overall throughout the district that had moved in from Tusky Valley to check on them as well. And I actually, again, told the superintendents this was not my idea, but we passed that off to the other Stark County superintendents as well, because I think that's just something small we can do to check on our kids.
All right, thank you. Okay, executive session? No? All right, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Kowalski?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
All right, thank you for coming.
Yep, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it. Have a good Thanksgiving.